Have you ever asked AI what your novel is about? I recently did this when I was in a behind the scenes conversation with my lawyer. We were filming episodes for you here on the channel, and he had been checking AI to see if it had been using my books. Now, he has never read my books before, so he asked questions to see what it would say. We pulled it up together to take a look, and to my surprise, I read through a plot, through character names, through things that had nothing to do with my novel. They completely made up my story and attributed it to me. So let's take a look at what ChatGPT is going to say about my book this time. Now, this is the actual blurb for my book, Jaded. If the only way to stay alive was to convince your new husband not to murder you and make it look like an accident, could you do it? At 18, Jade shouldn't have to be forced to marry the son of her father's enemy as part of a revenge plot for a failed rebellion. When she's thrown into the life of being the wife of the commander's son and heir, her only hope of survival is convincing Roan Diamond to actually fall in love with her so that he doesn't kill her on his father's wishes. While a dutiful son, Roan shouldn't have to trick his wife into believing his family accepts her, but as the only one in a position to make the country believe that Jade is part of their family, he will do what he has to before his family murders his young bride and makes it look like an accident to get back at Jade's father, with half the country trying to protect Jade and the other half oblivious to the atrocities committed at the commander's hands. It's a race to see who will win at a deadly game of cat and mouse. One chooses life, one chooses death. In the midst of chaos, only one will succeed. So you can see it's dystopian, it's enemies to lovers, it's forced marriage, it's all the things. Let's take a look at what ChatGPT is going to tell us this book is about. So we're going to pop into our question and we're going to say, what is the book Jaded by K.M. Robinson about? We're just going to wait for it to pop up a story. And I have found that it tells us really interesting things, and every time it does things different. So here we go. This is what it tells me. Jaded is a young adult dystopian novel written by K.M. Robinson. This is correct. The story is set in the future world where the society is divided into two classes, the privileged elite and the oppressed Geminis. Nope, that's not true. The elite live in luxury and wield immense power. Nope, while the Geminis are forced to serve them as laborers and endure a life of hardship. This is incorrect, wildly incorrect. The main character, Jaya, nope, is a young Gemini, no, who is determined to escape her oppressive life in the walled cities that confine her. This is so inaccurate. She dreams of a world beyond, or a better world beyond the walls where she can be free. When she meets a fellow Gemini named Reed, I don't have characters with these names. I have a Reed, but it's not even spelled like that. It's in a different series, not even until like the second or third book. She forms a connection that gives her hope and the strength to take action. No. I have issues with women not coming into their power until a man shows them how. No. Together, they embark on a dangerous journey to challenge the oppressive elite and bring about change. What is happening? The novel explores themes of social inequality, rebellion, and the desire for freedom. It's a story of resilience, yes. Hope, okay, and the struggle for justice in a dystopian society. The characters face numerous challenges and obstacles as they work to expose the truth and fight for a better future. Jaded is the first book in the Jaded duology, with the sequel title likely? No, it's titled Risen. These are such inaccurate statements about my book. So now if somebody were to then go and look these things up, they would find something that is not my book, is unlike anything I have ever written, and doesn't make any sense for the things that I have written. It has made up the characters, it has made up the world, it has made up the plot lines, it has made up the relationship, it has made up class systems and titles. Nothing about this is correct. So I recommend that you get into your AIs and see what you can come up with. This is not the story that it told me when I asked about this exact book the last time with my lawyer. Now, if I pulled up another ChatGPT screen and asked the same thing, it will, because it's in the same setting, because it's in the same situation, give me the same thing. It will probably regurgitate the exact same information because it's told me that once. It's going to tell me that again. But if I go back and I look in some of the other things, because we actually did it. I was going to take you back to show you the one that it showed us, but it was actually on the lawyer's computer screen and not mine. So different ChatGPT's versions are giving us different things. And it just makes things up. Every single time I ask this, it's giving me a new version of this. These were different characters, different settings, different plot lines when we asked it with my lawyer. And so you might come up with some really interesting things. Now, could this potentially give you some book ideas for the future? Absolutely. Could this also hurt your standing with whatever you're doing inside of your marketing? Sure thing. If this starts to get out to the public, if other people think this is actually a thing, if some of the other AIs are starting to pick up some of this information, if this in any way gets out to the public, could this potentially cause some problems? Sure. So stay on top of it. Be very clear with your marketing. Get out there and talk about your blurb a lot, have a lot of information, write articles on your website pages, make sure you're getting that information out. So it's on your book buying pages, it's going to be on your website, it's going to be in your blog posts, it's going to be in other people's blog posts and other people's TikToks and Instagrams. Get as much information about your book out as possible so that should something like this happen, and then it gets out into a public space where it's like showing up in searches and things, you're going to have a lot of information out there to combat this. But just for kicks and giggles, I highly recommend that you get into ChatGPT and ask your ChatGPT or your AI what your book is about. Film it. Film your reaction. Film yourself reading it. Have the conversation just like I did where I was saying my responses to these things. And that could make some really fun content for you to really just talk about why you didn't get it right. And then you can even use that as a way to gauge your audience. Hey, what did you think about this completely made up story that the AI wrote for my book? Should I do something with some of those themes? What did you kind of like about that? What would you like to see from me with that as kind of like an inspirational point? And just go from there. There's a lot of ways you can leverage this. This makes really good, easy content for you, but it's definitely going to decimate what you've got going on inside of your story. And I've seen it do it to popular books as well, like the super well-known, everybody knows about it. It will also potentially make things up for those as well. So just get in there and see what it's going to say for the Hunger Games and Harry Potter and all those fun stories. See what it does, because you could have a lot of fun with that. If you got questions, let's go ahead and drop it down below. And if you want ideas on how to legally, ethically, and creatively be using AI as an entrepreneur, as a brand owner, as an author, we have a full playlist down below, both with my lawyer and with me, a tech expert, to make sure that we are using this legally, ethically, and creatively, because we're not using it to write your novels, but we are using it for ideas on marketing. We can use this for ideas on your world building. You can use it to create things that are in the history of the world you're creating, but aren't actually in your book, but could potentially impact your characters. You're going to use it as backstories or fill in origin stories, all sorts of really creative ways. We've got full playlists for you linked down below. Do not miss out on those. If you have questions on using AI legally, ethically, and creatively as an author to help level up what you're doing and make yourself more money, save yourself more time, and deal with a lot less overwhelm and stress, ask away. We are here to get those questions answered for you, and we will be continuing to create content just like this for you to help you level up as an author and make this your most profitable year ever with less stress and overwhelm, because you're working smarter, not harder, and your business is working on your behalf while you're living your best life and living out your other dreams. We'll see you then.